Today is December 28th, 2012, and this is a rocket stove update. Let's see, it's been about, I guess last Saturday I had it all assembled. This is actually assembled in the basement of my home. It's been burning now for 6 days. Tomorrow evening will be 7 days of burn that I've been putting this through. And like I said, this has just really been a big test of how it works. It's actually even me getting acquainted with the ins and outs and how a rocket stove heater actually works. So, it's a learning curve for me. That's the idea. That was the reason for building this. Bear with me in this video because this is just going to kind of be a random video. I don't have any really set points to really get out there or talk about, but one thing I do know, after running this for actually about the past 6 days, and I've been running it straight every day, it will go out at night. It's probably about maybe, I guess 6 hours. It will kind of burn out there, and it's not till the next morning until I reload it back up and get it going again. So it's kind of almost been constant burn. I guess some things here to note since the last slideshows I put up and all is this section of the burn chamber has been wrapped in the K-wool, and then I just got foil then wrapped over the K-wool. That's just to hold it in place and everything, give the insulation barrier. Here at this end, just because I've been playing with how this burns and so on, this was supposed to have a 6-inch riser coming up on top of it here. I've just been playing without that being on there. Just wanted to see a few things here. It's just easier working with it this way. Try to get a shot down inside here. It's drafting relatively well. There's a few some things I have found out with using this that I'm going to play around for a little bit more here, especially in this area here. I will say one thing, and that is, after building this, what you see on other people have built and what they have done, there's a few things I wanted to try, but I probably will build another one of these here this upcoming spring to summer. And like I said, with running this thing, I have learned a lot, and there'd be a lot of things I would do differently if I was to build another one. And that's why we're incorporating one into the next one. I've used a 90 here. This I will put a T in. The T will actually come out this way. And here at the end will just be the with an end cap. That'll give me a way to where I can just take the end cap off and then be able to just pull the ash out into a box down here. Then put the cap back on and make it easy to clean. Also, if I wanted to put some really long pieces of sticks in here, I could open the end cap and just put them in sideways this way, and say from the top down. It's just another option. See over here, this is the ash that I collected. Like I said, I've cleaned this out twice now. This represents 6 days of burn. After the 3rd day, I actually cleaned out the ash, and I've got about the equal amounts out after the 3-day burn each time. The box is about 7 inches by 10 inches, and if I was to level all this ash out, it's about 2.5 inches deep. And I'm kind of surprised that there's a few metal pieces in here. I've been throwing everything in this stove, but I've gotten pretty decent burn through the ash. I mean, there's some things, a few little pieces of wood here that haven't actually burned completely, but I did pull it out when it was still kind of warm a couple of times. So, but one thing I have noticed, and that's when I was cleaning the ash out, that I had a glove, so after this was all burned out, I actually reached my hand down inside and was pointing out this way with a glove on. But what I noticed is I have a an Appalachian wood burning stove. It's got a 3-speed fan on it, has the ceramic filters at the top. It's supposed to be a fairly decent stove. But every time I clean that thing and all, I mean, it's just hard not to get any ash to fly out into the room. I never had that with this. Because of this suction of this draw here, every time you pour out any of the ash coming out, it just would want to just keep sucking it back in. So I had nothing coming out into the room. Also, any pops or sparks from the wood, I don't get anything flying out of this thing because everything's burning back up into here. So that hasn't been an issue. I have not got any smell, any smoke, and actually lighting this thing, it's been one of the easiest things I have lit. Over here is a lot of cardboard, you know, a lot of cardboard boxes. Anything that comes in cardboard, I kind of pull apart, and I'll use this to burn. I've burned a lot of this too, so a lot of the ash is cardboard, you know, and I do know it's not the most eco-friendly type thing here, but you know, it is a means of a burn in case you need to do it. So I've been taking, you know, cardboards, I'll go and tear them up and all, and put them in here and run them through the stove also. So a couple pieces of cardboard, put the wood in, and like I said, this wood here is even still damp yet, and put it in here and it just takes off. Very surprising on that. The gasket around the bottom here has done a great job. Haven't had any smoke coming out of this at all. One of the other things I've tried here tonight, this is actually this is just a big pellet. It's actually 6 inches across this way by, I believe it was 4.5 by 2.5, I think. You get 20 of these in a package. Sells for $3.99. One of your thoughts was, at night, you know, before going to bed, no, I could maybe just throw one of these in the bottom and let it burn to kind of keep the temperature going. One of the things I'm looking at for this stove is here in the top surface up here. I've been taking a lot of heat temperatures readings here at the center. This is right on top of the flue, the internal flue pipe coming up inside the drum here. I've had this up to the highest I have had this. One of the readings was a little over 750 degrees at that top point. So it can get extremely hot. Usually at a fire like this here that's running, I get between, at that top point, see around 210 to 240, which is fine because that's kind of where I want to be at. Because one of my other intents is, you see some piping over here. One of the other things I'll be adding to this is up in the top half, as I mentioned way back in one of my earlier videos. One of the things I wanted to do was to add copper coil piping to the inside of the tank, or the barrel here, because I wanted to heat water with it also. But with doing a lot of the temperature readings and all, and honestly I don't really want to poke any holes in the side of the barrel here. It's just another place for smoke to exit out and all. So one of the things I thought about doing is, I had to turn the camera off there for a minute. I had to get something to drink. I was getting kind of raspy there. But getting back to what I was saying is, here in the top, I'm actually probably going to put the coil piping here on the top of this, and for the time being I'm just going to lay a bunch of gravel over the top of it there as kind of as a heat retention, and I may put some of that K-Wool cloth over the top of it. I just want to see how that performs. If it performs well, what I may end up doing later is taking this and maybe pouring a cap anywhere between, or maybe around 3 inches or so, of the fire brick mortar on top of this here, maybe just to see how that does. One of the things that I do want to do with this is, or have the option to be able to do, is also cook on top of it if I need to. You have to kind of overlook this. I took a lot of my cast iron pots and skillets and all, and like this one here. I sandblasted all of them, but I didn't get them. I didn't get Crisco rubbed all over them and get them re-seasoned in time, so I'm going to have to take them back and blast them again real quick and get that done. But one of the options I want to be able to do is also cook on top of this. So with that cap on there, like I said, I'll see how the gravel works out and the wool. But one of the things I may end up doing is putting the cap up there with the piping inside the cap, and I won't use copper for that there, just for the fact because electrolysis and all setting in. So I found some of this stainless steel piping that I'll probably end up using instead. And I'm going to do the gravel, like I said, first, just to see how many coals I need and how much I do need there to extract out the temperature I want for the water. The reason I'm doing that is I do have hot water baseboard heating here. I actually have the cast iron baseboards. It's not the traditional radiators that you think of. So, like all the baseboards in the house and the rooms is all the cast iron stuff. So, when that gets heated up, it continues to keep releasing heat. You know, once the water goes through and heats those up. So, my boiler operates at about 185 degrees. So, a fire like this here keeps me about anywhere in the 210 to 240 range. So I think I want to give that a try, and I think it might be enough as a supplement heat to the home heating system here, since I do originally ran off of fuel oil here, and if anyone's running off fuel, you do know that's quite expensive. I can average in cold weather, it's not unlikely to have a $350, $400 heating bill here at this house. So this may be something to supplement that. It's something I want to try and see how that works out. And like I said, burning the wood here, these sticks will burn for, I got another 45 minutes to an hour before I end up reloading anything else back in here. So I'm getting some good burn time out of the amount of lumber I'm putting in here, which I'm kind of happy with also. So I guess that's kind of it for the updates now. I have a lot of things I want to put into the system here, so next one should be somewhat interesting once it starts moving forward, especially when it starts getting connected into the furnace, and see how that works out there, and some of the other additions I have to this. And I noticed even the burn chamber down here, I've had this over here glowing red hot before, especially when I was up to about the 750 degrees here in the barrel. But I came across another idea that I could possibly use here in this burn chamber. So that's going to be another interesting project here coming up. So since this is kind of a long rambling video, I guess I'll end it there. And again, thanks for watching.